everybody, welcome to RPG Talk, where we talk about RPGs and some visual novels. Important I say that today, isn't it? Because today we will be talking about none other than Saya no Uta, a visual novel. I am not going to try to describe what a visual novel is. Rather, I will let you look it up yourself if you're really curious. Because a visual novel is somewhat hard for me to describe, and I found that the last time I recorded this, I just spent minutes mumbling about it. So I'm gonna go let you guys figure out what a visual novel is. Let's just say it's like watching an anime and reading a book. That's the best way I can describe it, and if that doesn't make any sense, go look it up. Because I am so bad at explaining what a visual novel is. In fact, it's more of an interactive... I'm just gonna ramble on about it. So yeah, welcome to Saya no Uta, a first impressions video of Saya no Uta. I'm about 5 to 6 hours into the game. It's amazing so far. I really love it. It's a horror visual novel, which is pretty rare. You don't find too many of them. I only have played about three. And the Higurashi Saya no Uta, and the third one, which is called DV Dead. That's an older one. That's from like 1998. That's an older one, but a really good one. I recommend that one as well. So yes, let us get to the first impressions video. First of all, we'll start with the story of Saya no Uta. The story of Saya no Uta is quite bizarre. It basically revolves around this guy named Fuminori Sakisaka. And Fuminori is basically got into a car accident with his parents. His parents died, yet he somehow miraculously survived. Even though he survived, though, he basically has a medical condition where he can't see the real world as real anymore. It's kind of an interesting illness. Not really an illness, but more of a condition. It's like a brain disorder. Yeah, the Wikipedia page says it's an exaggerated form of agnosia. Which, let's see what that is. Inability to process sensory information. So basically his brain has been corrupted in a way. And this causes him to be somewhat of a paranoid person, or rather a reserved person. He becomes paranoid a little bit later on. And he can't see humans as humans anymore, and he meets another person, or rather a being, called Saya. Just Saya. That's it. No real other name. Just Saya. And Saya is a being, like I said. She's not human. Yet Fuminori sees her as human, yet she's really not. Because you must wonder, if Fuminori sees all humans as these weird beings, what would happen if he saw another person as a being, as a human? That human wouldn't be a real human, that would according to the past logic. And in truth, she is not. She's a being from another dimension. And I've gotten to a point in the game where we realize what she really is, to a certain degree. And, well, Fuminori, I should go back to Fuminori for a little bit. Fuminori is a villainous protagonist, shall we say. And basically, because of his situation with Saya and what he ends up doing to various characters in the game, he, shall we say, does some things that he probably wouldn't have if he didn't have his condition. Yet the condition and his situation with Saya puts him in a kind of a rough spot. As I said, he basically becomes like Saya, in that Saya... Well, I don't really want to go into it that much, because I feel like I would spoil the game for you. Let's just say that Fuminori... Screw it, I'm going into it. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video. Basically, he ends up becoming a cannibal. Later on, it's about 3 to 4 hours into the game. And Saya is also a cannibal. That's why she never eats when Fuminori is around. And he doesn't realize that he's eating a human that was once one of his friends. And then his best friend, that was Omi. Yeah, Omi was one of the main characters. She was his best friend Koji's girlfriend. And she ends up inspecting Fuminori's house, but he's not there, and Saya kills her and eats her. And then Fuminori just sees it as like some kind of glob of flesh. And eats it, and he can actually eat it. Because beforehand, he couldn't eat anything. And actually taste, really. And it wouldn't be good. Like, he would eat, because he needs to eat, you know? But he really didn't, enjoy it to the same degree as someone else would. So basically, yeah, he becomes a cannibal out of necessity. And various other things that happen throughout the game. But we won't go into those too much. So yeah, he finds human flesh delicious. That's pretty much what happened. Moving on to other characters. So we have Omi. Omi doesn't get much exposure. She's really minor, like first 2 hours of the game, that's pretty much it. She's a friend of Yo, who is Fuminori's so-called love interest. She likes Fuminori, but Fuminori doesn't like her. He kind of really throws her off pretty harshly, and she becomes kind of mentally impaired due to this, just kind of unstable mentally. And yeah, Omi suffers a really gruesome murder, and basically she ends up being the main course, shall we say? Oh man. Yeah, this game's pretty twisted. Not for the faint of heart, not for the person who's looking for a nice little harem. Sorry, you came to the wrong place. This is Cyanide, so this is where we disembowel flesh to get parts, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, disembowelment. That happens. Oh yeah, murder. There's a bit of rape too. If you don't like that, I wouldn't recommend this game. It's part of the story, though. It's not like just there because it's there. No, there actually is. I didn't like the rape scene. And man, it really played with me. And so after when Fuminori killed that fucker, but okay, we're moving on. Yeah, Koji is Fuminori's best friend. They kind of grow apart and get suspicious of one another. And I don't want to go too much into anything else. Yo becomes mentally impaired. It's kind of... Yeah, Yo becomes quite, unstable, shall we say. Ryoko Tambo, that is basically the physician who's in charge of Fuminori, but she ran out on her, and, well, she kind of knows more than what she's willing to say, shall we say. Yosuke, this guy. Important scene in the game, I'm not going to talk about him too much. Yosuke is an artist, middle-aged man, neighbor of Fuminori, and that's all I'm going to say about him. I can't really say anything else. His little moment in the game is pretty powerful, and yeah, it's good. And then you got Masahiko Ogai. Ogai is basically the professor, and basically Saya's father. Not going to go too much into that, but I put quotations about that around that for a reason. And Ryoko is also trying to find him, as is Fuminori. Everyone's basically ending up looking for this guy. So yeah, that's the characters in the main story. We'll move on to the soundtrack. The soundtrack is amazing. It was made by Ziz Studio. The first track, Schizophrenia. I may just play this in the background of the video because I love it so much. It's such an amazing track, and I think you guys really need to hear it. And yeah, it's an amazing game. I mean, I really, really, really recommend you guys play Sino. It's an amazing game so far, even about 5 to 6 hours in. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but it's a great game, and I highly, highly recommend it. I hope this didn't spoil too much for you. I did kind of spoil Omi's death. Though it's pretty early on in the game, so I guess I wasn't spoiling too much. At least it didn't go into the Yosuke stuff. So yeah, there you go, Sinut. I mean, it's great so far. I'll do a full-length review on it later. Go a little more in-depth in the story, and maybe a little more spoiler parts to it. But yes, this has been another episode of First Impressions on RPG Talk, where we talk about RPGs and some visual novels. As such, in this first episode of my first impressions of a visual novel called Saya no Uta, Song of Saya. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this visual novel down below, or if you haven't played it yet, let me know what you're thinking about it based on this first impressions video, or what you've heard about it, etc., etc. It's a bit old, it's about 2006, so you should play it if you haven't already. And thus ends this episode of first impressions on RPG Talk. Again, let me know down below what you thought of it. Give me a like if you enjoyed. Share on various social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, Google+, or what the hell have you. In case you want to share and give word about this series in the channel. I really appreciate it if you would. And that concludes the series. I'll see you all in the next episode of RPG Talk. Until then, stay awesome, everybody. Keep playing RPGs.